What up, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing some more Bee Swarm Simulator, and today I wanted to make another guide, and this is going to be the early game guide to Bee Swarm Simulator. Okay, now quick note before we get into the video, I just wanted to say something. The last guide I did, my third ever video for the record, got 400 views. And I just wanted to really say thank you all so much for the for I guess noticing or just tuning in. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for the people who are leaving comments. I do appreciate the feedback. I do my best to respond to every single comment that's left, and I do really appreciate the criticism that's given. Sometimes, like my first ever video, it was like, oh well, my audio was bad or whatever. You couldn't really hear what I was saying, so I just really wanted to, and I fixed that because somebody left a comment and they're like, hey, you should probably do this and whatever. So I just really wanted to say thank you guys for the support on the last video and like helping this channel to become something like way faster than I thought it was ever going to become something. So I wanted to make a quick side note, and we'll get back into the video right now. Okay, now I was gonna make this video on my alt account, but there's stuff that I want to show for an early game guide that I really can't show without having like 25 Bs or 20 Bs or 15, like whatever. Like I really can't show that. So a lot of you may be wondering, what definitively is early game? In my opinion, right now, this may vary between people, but I think this is like, out of everybody I've talked to, the very set in stone idea of early game is you have under 35 Bs. This over here, as you can see in the distance, that's the 35 B gate. If you have under 35 Bs, then I would say that you are early game. Mid game would be once you're in the 35 B zone, you've killed coconut crab, you got the cocoa belt, or you do spirit bear, you get a petal wand, or you give a petal belt, whatever, right? That is what I would say is mid game. There will be a mid game video, tutorial, whatever, coming out next week, but this is going to be the early game tutorial. Now, with that being said, a very big thing with early game is quests. If you are early game, you should be talking to Black Bear, you should be talking to Mother Bear, or you should be talking to Brown Bear over there, right? Those are the three bears I would say are probably most important early game, if not Science Bear or Polar Bear up here, right? Like, those are the 5 bears that you need to be doing quests. Quests are super big early game and give you a lot of great rewards. Obviously, if you come up top here to the 10 B zone, once you get 10 Bs, that's when you unlock good old Science Bear up here, and that's when you unlock the Pro Shop. The Pro Shop, if I believe, yeah, right, this is Pro Shop. For a minute I thought it was Noob Bear. I am wrong. This is the Pro Shop. This is right before the Porcelain Gear. So this is typically, like, if you just started playing the game, all this stuff is pretty obtainable, I'd like to say. Like, you're not going to struggle getting it. Another good thing if you're early game, if you do have the extra honey, these memory matches are actually pretty decent. Like, you can get a royal jelly, you can get a ticket, like, you can get fruits, like, it's all stuff that's going to help you out a lot in the long run. And you can also get, like you can see here, I can get magic beans, honeysuckles. It gives you good materials. Materials you're gonna need. Another thing early game you should be doing is killing stuff. These guys will give you a lot of your materials that you're gonna need for stuff when you just start playing, or I guess early game, whatever, right? I'm trying not to sound redundant when I keep saying, oh, this is gonna happen early game, this is that. I'm doing my best here to be helpful. Now, obviously, early game, you're not gonna be killing Stump Snail unless you like sit AFK in macro. But this is the other thing I want to talk about, Dapper Bear, because early game I do think it would be pretty useful if you could manage to somehow get your hands on a candy planter or plastic planter, though I do think that's a little unrealistic and too expensive for early game, so I'm not sure how obtainable that is. Another great thing you can do if you are early game is honey storms. What honey storms do is if you summon one like I just did, you need 4 legendary bees, different legendary bees, I believe. And it just puts a bunch of honey all over the field, right? Now, if you can get a better player like me, or if you could get somebody like, I guess, just a little more advanced than you who's got legendary bees to summon you a honey storm, this gives you a very good boost of honey right off the start of the game. right? Like, as you can see, I just got 18,000 honey, and all I had to do was sit in a field and collect stuff. That's pretty straightforward and pretty good. Another thing is, once you have the power and are able to do it, is you should kill King Beetle as soon as you can kill King Beetle. Now, obviously, he's gonna die in 4 seconds for me, but it's gonna take you a lot longer. So, see, and if you can look over here in the bottom right, you get a lot of really good stuff. Like, you get tickets, moon charms, magic beans, whatever. Now, if you sit in this corner, I don't really know exactly how it works, but if you sit in this corner, apparently King Beetle can't hit you. So if you have level 7 bees and you can do damage to them, if you really want to brute force it, that is something that you can do. Now, a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but if you are early game, asking somebody who has 3 mythics to do a meteor shower, as long as you're not a total douche about it, or you're not just being, like, annoying, then you're probably going to get somebody who will just do it out of, like, generosity, right? I do my meteor showers every single day, so typically when I'm playing or doing whatever, I'll run a meteor shower, like, period. Like, I do it every day because the rewards are still good for the stage I'm at. Obviously, I'm going for gummy boots, as if you haven't heard in the last couple of videos. That is the goal I'm working on right now, and I still need 200 more glues. Alright, and a meteor shower can definitely help with that. Another noteworthy thing you can do is sprouts. If you just see sprouts that randomly spawn across the map, breaking these things down and collecting the rewards, if you give me a second here, you'll see what I'm talking about. Once you break this thing down, it drops a bunch of stuff all over the field, which I'm actually going to collect because I need moon charms. Yeah, you get a bunch of stuff, and it's all very, very helpful, and you'll need it for crafting at a later date. So I do recommend, if you ever see a random sprout appear, you should go to that field and do it. Okay, and another thing that I definitely think should be said is, don't ever use this 6 tickets royal jelly dispenser. This thing is such a scam that it's not even funny. There is 0 reason to do this, ever. You can get royal jellies so easily. This is not something you should ever, like, be doing. You're gonna waste your tickets, and if you're really gonna waste your tickets, the best thing to waste them on would be these instant converters. So that is something to keep in mind. Don't ever do that. And another thing while I'm here is dispensers. These honey dispensers, as you can see, give you a whole bunch, and the strawberry dispenser up there, and the blueberry dispenser and the blue HQ, all stuff that is very good, and I do highly recommend if you are early game. Okay, now in my opinion, if you are early game, I don't really think you should be worrying about this shop. I really don't know if that's something that you should or shouldn't be worrying about. Sprinklers are good, yes, but like, if you're gonna buy the first 2, yeah, probably not a bad idea. But I think any more than that, like these or these, not worth it at all, right? That's way out of your price range early game, and I don't see these being something that is necessary. Same with the blender. Like, obviously on top of the blender there's a star jelly, so that's gonna be very good for you early game. But as far as making anything or buying anything from the shop, I would stay away from it. And then obviously there's this shop back here, which I would say that majority of these items are all mid-game items. I would not be worrying about any of this if you are early game. Next thing would be Polar Bear. Polar Bear is very good because he gives you quests that give you polar power. Polar power is great because it gives you max bee energy, and I think it's like 0.05 per quest you turn in. If I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it's 0.05 max bee energy per quest. So with that being said, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it really adds up. Like, as you can see here, I have 193, which you wouldn't believe me if I told you that was considerably low, but that's not good. You should try to, you want to get, like, when you, like, beat the game, you want to get around 2,000. At least that's what I've heard according to other sources. People say 2,000, people say 600. So I'm not really sure there. I guess it's really up to your discretion, right? If you think you need more, you think you need less, then that's what you should be doing, right? However, I do think when you're early game, as soon as you can get, like, these quests aren't too bad. As soon as you can easily do them, I think you should be doing these quests because it's gonna help you out a lot. I just realized I almost forgot to mention Panda Bear. Panda Bear is not bad for early game, but your bees are going to be so low level that his quests are going to be pretty rough. And honestly, I do sort of recommend that you just wait. Honestly, I think that doing Panda Bear's quests in mid-game, because his rewards aren't very good, right? And his best reward is a star tree and a star egg. And for those of you who don't know, actually, I should be saying this in my early game guide now that I think about it. Don't waste your star eggs and don't use your star treats unless you're using it on an event bee. And the reason I say that is if you get every one of these bees gifted in your hive, right, through legendary, through common, then you can get a free guaranteed gifted mythic bee. But you have to have every single gifted legendary, every single gifted epic, every single gifted rare, and every gifted common bee, which is really just basic bee. All of them need to be in your hive at once. I'm going to repeat that. You need to have every single one of these gifted in your hive at once before you use a star egg, and then you're guaranteed to get a gifted mythic bee, which is very, very, very good. And that will help you out a lot. Now, as far as when you should be going for mythic bees, or as far as when you should be going for gifted bees, don't do that right away. But if you do get a gifted legendary or a gifted rare right off the gun, it is definitely worth it to keep it. Because for those of you who don't know, gifted bees, they give you a gifted hive bonus. It's very, very helpful in the long run. I'm just now realizing one thing I forgot to mention about Science Bear, right? Science Bear also, when you do his quest line, gives you translators. Now, what these translators do is it lets you get the quests for Bucko Bee and Riley Bee in the HQs and Stickbug, right? It's 35 total quests, and they're not incredibly easy. So, again, this is one of those things where you might get the first translator early game, but I'd say the other two are definitely mid-game, if not like later mid-game. Definitely not early game stuff to get. Now, for those of you who are wondering why you need Bucko Bee or Riley Bee's quests, if you want late game, like this is end game stuff like this. As you can see, you need Bucko Bee quest to get the Tide Popper. You need Bucko Bee quest to get the Hydronic Planner, right? All of that requires Bucko Bee quests, and not to mention, he does give you materials that are also very good. So I do recommend starting those quests as early as you can, but then again, it's one of those things where I'd say you shouldn't really start it until you can easily do it. Okay, and again, like I always say in my videos, if you do have anything that you think, oh, well, I missed, or oh, you should add to this, or whatever, or you want to see a more detailed guide in the future, do let me know, and I will post probably later on, at like a later date, I will post a updated guide, or I'll put like old in this title, and I'll put a link to the new guide that I'll make in the future. So if you do ever see something I missed, do leave a comment in the video, and I will add it to a later video, and I'll let you know that I'm like, thank you for that, and whatever. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. You know, do the things, leave a like, subscribe, it helps the channel, and then more people will see this video. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and have a great day.